Hey Daniel, here's a quick overview of the parts to Empty Space. The whole first part, there's more than one guitar part, but the whole first part of the main guitar give you a lot of octaves. I think you've done that before. It looks almost just like a power chord, but a power chord is two notes next to each other. That's fifth and fourth string. An octave in this case would be the fifth string 12th, the double dot, and the third string 14th. And it's a weird thing because I'm kind of strumming four strings. I'm kind of strumming all these. You can hear my sixth and my fourth get muted. And I personally do both strings with my index finger. So my first finger, my index finger is doing three jobs. It's playing that note. It's curving, kind of laying this way. Not enough to play this fourth string, but just to touch it. So check it out. If I touch the fourth string, then it's also touching the sixth string. And the whole first part's going to be a lot of movement. It's going to be... Now what I found that works for me is I pay attention to my index finger. When you look at the tab, you'll see that it says 12, 12, 14, 16, 14. A lot of 12s, 14s, and 16s. 12, 12, 14, 16, 14, 12. In fact, if you have trouble with those octaves, you could start with just one finger. Then add the octave note. And it starts with a one of those muted strums. So it does this, the second measure twice, or excuse me, three times. There's 1, 2, 3. And the fourth one here is a little bit different. It's going to go. So far it's identical, but then it does this little, that's kind of crazy. 17, 16, 12. So that's the idea there. Then there's a cool thing on the second time it plays where it does this little... That's the 17, 15, 14, 15, 14, 16, 14, 16. Woo! And the really cool part... Oh, and I totally forgot to mention, I am in drop D tuning. I didn't do the really low tuning yet. I thought most of your practicing could be done in drop D because you only have to detune the one string. Instead of an E, you just go down until your tuner says D. Or sometimes I'll compare my low string to the fourth string open. I'm not tuning them to the same note, the same pitch, but they are the same note, D to D. So we got the octave part, then this little... It's really cool. And then some more octaves again. And then here's the other really, really cool part. It does this... Honestly, I think those are probably done on two different guitar parts. It's kind of busy because you're moving around, but you can do it on one part. This is a F sharp minor 7 chord. A little weird. Basically, your first finger just bars on the 9th fret. So it's your 5th string 9th, and you can see this in the tab. And then your 4th string 11th. Then your 3rd string 9th. And then at the very end, he adds this 10th fret on the 2nd string. So it's almost like he's strumming these three. And at the end, he adds that high note. Now you could break away from that chord to do the 12, 10, 12. But I also noticed that you could do this. In other words, your middle finger is already on that 10 that you need. So it's a little weird, a little hard, but if you can add your pinky up on that 12. Then the next chord, the 7, 9, 9, 7, he actually does a really weird thing. It's really crazy, so I just made it pretty close. 7, 9, 9, 7. And that one, I think you do have to let go of the chord and play those notes because they're not part of the chord. And then 4 and 7, your 5th string 4th, and your 4th string 7th. So the first two, as you could hear when he does high notes, he's kind of picking individual ones. But in the second half, I think he just does strums. Try and play it one more time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure one guy goes like this. And the other guy gets to go. That would probably make more sense. But let me see, I think those are the main parts. It looks long already because it's 3 pages, but it's really just some repeated version of all those parts. Last thing I added was, as I wrote in the chart, let me get a cleanish tone. It says bass guitar part written for guitar, and that's kind of exciting because I just had the first bass lesson with Dylan yesterday. But as you know in the song, everything gets quiet and it goes. It's pretty self-explanatory. 5, 7. That should be a good start, man. There's more to do, but that's a really cool song, and I'm excited for you. See ya.